What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I've got some mental entitled parent stories for you, starting off with this one, in which an entitled dad allows his daughter to put her arm into a big cat's enclosure at the zoo. I mean, when I saw the title of this post, I thought it had to be fake, but unbelievably, it's not. It's completely true. Let's get into the story. Entitled dad nearly gets his daughter's arm torn to ribbons. For background, this happened last year while I was volunteering at a local zoo. I was heading to the lynx enclosure to feed them when I heard some commotion coming from where the caracals and servals were. For an idea on how the layout of the enclosures were designed, the medium-sized wildcats all each have a fence and a set of bars to separate them from the visitors, with the fences on the outside as a way to signal people to avoid getting into scratching distance of the cats. I went there to check, and there was a man, the entitled dad of this story, alongside a girl that looked to be around 5 or 6, who were both past the fence, and the girl was sticking her arm inside the caracal enclosure, and one of the caracals was hissing and growling at them, while a second one was sleeping on top of a cat tree-like structure that was built inside the enclosure. "Hey, miss, please remove your arm from the cage," I say. The entitled dad replies, "Why? She just wants to pet the kitties." "Sir, these animals are wild and they're clearly not enjoying her presence." "Well, she likes cats, so she'll enjoy them anyways." "Look, these aren't domesticated house cats. They're a wild cat and they're not used to humans. Miss, please step back now or you're gonna get hurt." After I raised my voice, the girl snapped her arm back and looked at me, crying. "You will not threaten my daughter," the dad said. "I'm not threatening her. I'm warning you that these cats are not suitable to be pets." A passerby intervened. "She's right, you idiot. You're endangering your own child by letting her get this close with wild animals." "I'm not endangering her. It's a cat. They like being pets." "No, it's a caracal. They look like cats, but they're a completely different animal. You wouldn't let your daughter pet a bobcat, would you?" "Of course not. But this isn't a bobcat." "It's like the same freaking thing, you idiot. There's a reason why these animals are behind cages and fences." "Oh, F off. Daughter, you can pet that cat as much as you want. Don't listen to these idiots." At this point, the girl looks way too shaken from the conflict and doesn't want to pet the caracal anymore, thankfully. The man then stormed away with her while threatening to report me to my superiors, which he did. But thankfully, the zoo's obviously siding with me, and then I resumed the feeding schedule while the servals looked at me in your typical cat judgmental way after thanking the man that helped me stand up to the entitled dad. I've dealt with plenty of entitled people while working at the zoo, but holy F, I never thought I'd actually meet one that gets annoyed at me for not letting them touch a dangerous zoo animal. Yeah, I mean, that is just astonishing, really. Genuinely, like, what would his excuse have been had the caracal come over and actually bitten off his daughter's arm? Because let's be realistic, as OP says, they are completely wild animals. You're in a zoo. They're not trained. They're in cages for a reason. What would he have done if the cat had just come over and said, "You know what, screw this girl. I'm a wild animal. I'm going to eat her arm"? You could have had no excuses, nothing to say, "Oh, you didn't warn me" or anything. Just brainless. I just don't get it. Now moving on to our second post. Entitled mother does nothing when her kid lets his dog poop all over my lawn. Gets a nasty surprise in her mailbox. This happened about a year and a half ago, before the whole COVID thing. I had moved into a new home a few months ago, and one of the reasons I especially liked this home was because of its nice lots and close parks. Anyways, one day a few months after I moved in, I noticed that there was a piece of dog poop on my front lawn. I looked around and I didn't see anyone walking their dog. Quite a few of my neighbors had dogs, and I figured one of them had forgotten to pick up after their dog. I got a plastic bag and threw the poop in the trash, and I thought nothing of it. Imagine my surprise when, 2 days later, there was another dog poop on my lawn. This time, I saw the entitled kid of our story down the street walking his dog. I wasn't sure it was him, and his mother seemed kind of nice, so I thought I'd see if it happened again. A few days later, I was about to leave the house when I saw the entitled kid with his dog again, dropping a steaming pile of poop onto my lawn. I took out my phone and recorded a video, and after I got back, I went to his house. His mum answered. "Hello, miss. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting something, but I was just wondering if we could talk about your son and his dog?" "Of course. What's up?" "Well, I noticed your kid walking his dog outside my house, and I saw that his dog, pooped on my lawn, and he never picked it up. He carries bags when he walks his dog, and I'd appreciate it if you could ask him to pick up after his dog from now on. The entitled mum then switched into full entitlement mode. That's nonsense. My son would never do anything like that. Ask anyone. He's the most well-behaved child in this neighborhood. I'm sorry, miss. I'm not saying your son is a bad child or anything. I just want him to pick up after his dog. I even have a video of him walking away after his dog pooped on my lawn. Humph. Fine. I will talk to him. Now go away. She slammed the door in my face, and I thought that would be the end of things. Boy, was I wrong. I didn't see the entitled kid walking his dog outside my house for a week or so after that. But around 10 days later, I saw another pile of poop on my lawn. I'd had enough now, and I went back to the entitled mum's house. Miss, this is really unacceptable. You said you'd talk to your son, and now there's another pile of poop on my lawn. That wasn't my son. He's an absolute angel. He said he'd never do it again, and he didn't. The kid then came to the door. Kid, did your dog poop on this man's lawn again? Obviously lying through his teeth, he said, No, never. Well, that should be enough for you. Now, don't come back again. I was having dinner at my new neighbour's house, and the topic of the entitled mum came up. My neighbour told me that pretty much everyone hated this lady, as she was always borrowing stuff and claiming she never took it, filling other people's trash cans instead of paying for a special pickup. You get the idea. I finally broke when her dog pooped. Not once, not twice, but 3 times on my lawn in the same day. I got an epic idea. This time, I used a plastic bag to pick up the poop, but instead of throwing it in the trash, I kept it out in my backyard. For the next week, I collected poop from the lawn like a scientist, bagging every one. I'm sure if someone saw me, they would have thought I was crazy. After a week, I had around 4 bags of the entitled kid's dog's poop in my backyard. On Friday night, I went over to the mailbox of their house and absolutely caked it in their dog's poop. I got the sides, the top, the bottom. I completely covered the thing. The next day, I was treated to the sight of her husband hosing their mailbox off with a look of utter disgust on his face. After that, her kid mysteriously stopped walking his dog in front of my house. A nice little r/entitled parents, r/petty revenge crossover there. Completely justified, of course. If you can't pick up after your dog, to be quite frank, you don't even deserve to own one. It's just disgusting. Like, there's a reason why it's the law in the vast majority of countries that I've ever been to anyway, that you have to pick up after your dog. And if you don't, I know for sure in England this is the case, you have to pay a pretty big fine if you are caught. Honestly, go to the police next time this happens. I mean, clearly it's not going to happen again because of that fantastic revenge. But if it ever does, on the off chance, go to the police in your area and let them know what's happening with the video footage. Honestly, the entitled family will have to pay a pretty big fine, I'm pretty sure, and it'll be well deserved. And now moving on to our final story. If you don't let me in my son's room, I'm calling the police. For some background, I own a 32-unit facility that houses felons who have finished their sentences and need some help returning to society. Each unit houses 2 clients. We do stuff like teach them computer skills and help them learn to cook, build a resume, stuff like that. 6 a.m, about 2 hours ago, my night manager calls me and tells me there's a lady pounding on the front door, insisting she needs to talk to whoever is in charge. So I tell him to give her my number. Before I'm even off the phone with him, she's calling me. Before I can even introduce myself, she goes off, accusing me of kidnapping her son. This man is 34 years old and here 100% on his own free will, and forcing him to work for me. Now, he doesn't work for me, he works at the recycling center. Then she goes into how, as his mother, she needs to see what kind of conditions he's living in. But he refuses to let her visit. According to her, he would never refuse to see her unless he was under duress. So what she demands that I do, is to come to the facility and unlock his door so she can go in and look around. I told her that that's not going to happen. I'm not letting her into someone else's home. She is not a resident here. Her son is not the only person who lives in that space, and I would need permission from both her son and his roommate to let her in. She has no right to be here. Now please, get off of our property or we will have you trespassed. This caused her to shriek, "How dare you!" into the phone, and tell me that if she isn't let into the room within 10 minutes, she was going to call the cops and have me charged with kidnapping. I tell her, go ahead, and I hang up. I wasn't at the facility, but from the security camera footage, it appears that when the cops that she had called showed up and she explained the situation to them, her son came to the door and told the cops he didn't want to see her and that we didn't kidnap him. She went into a rage and attacked her son, but he didn't get hurt. He just backed up and slammed the door. The cops took her away. I don't know what's going to happen to her, but dang, seeing that dude's mum, he didn't have a great start in life. Oh my god, yeah, you're so right, OP. No wonder he's a convicted felon. If you've got a mother like that, Jesus, you're up against it, aren't you? When you're born into this world and you've got a parent like that who's meant to be looking after you and teaching you how to be and live your life and how to act, and it's someone like that, yeah, there's no wonder that he ended up doing some criminal activity. The great news is, though, that he's obviously decided that he never wants to see this woman again for quite obvious reasons and is on the way back to rebuilding his life. He's in a really good place from now with good people like OP, and I wish him the best, and I wish his mother the worst, because she, let me just, I don't want to say anything like horrible or needed to be censored, so let's just cut right there to the outro so I don't get myself in trouble. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this one. Hope you enjoyed. If you do want to see me swear, by the way, I do that, but on a different channel. Check that out down here. That's for you. If you're still watching and you want to see me swear and say what I really think, that's for you. If you are new to the channel and you want more videos on this channel, though, they're out here as well. Completely free to watch, of course. And if you are new, subscribe. Hit this button up here. It's lovely, especially when you press it and you turn notifications on. It does wonderful things. So I appreciate that. And I'll see you all tomorrow with a brand new video.